So I'd like to ask about contrast and feeling good in the contrast.
We're not going to interrupt you long, but we want to call it contrast, variety. And we also want to call it contrast, variety, and harmony. We also want to call it contrast, variety, harmony, and balance. Just to get it in the right frame of mind. Because it is. Your differences cause balance.
Can you say more about that?
Law of attraction will provide the harmony from the contrast that exists and therefore bring balance. If you didn't have the variety, you wouldn't be able to individually identify, and you wouldn't be able to create your own vortex, and there would be no reason for you being here. And you could not discover worthiness, and you could not discover a cooperative universe, and you could not discover the cooperation of source energy who will assist you in creating whatever it is that you decide from what you are living. So the contrast is not just wonderful, and it's not just valuable, it's essential to the eternalness that we all are. So here's this variety of this contrast. Some things you choose, some things you don't want to choose, some things you choose without meaning to, just by giving your attention to them. But in all of it, whether you're deliberate in your focus or whether you are creating by default by sort of just blundering around and looking at whatever is squeaking the loudest, whatever it is you're doing is causing you to create this vibrational reality that your source is assisting you in discovering the fullness of. So contrast is such a good thing. The other day, Esther was having a conversation with us about some discord that she was having with some other people. And we were explaining to her that law of attraction is working the harmony out. That when you have discord with another, your attention to the discord forces law of attraction to hold you in the same place with these others. Your attention to things that don't feel good lock you in to not allowing the universe to find harmony for you. So let's say there's something unwanted that is really discordant in your experience. You really don't want it, and you'd like to be as far away from it as possible. So let's say that you find other things to think about. Or maybe even you do focus wills that cause you to focus on the best parts of your life. So you achieve, with some deliberateness, a very different vibrational frequency than you had when you were running around with these discordant others. And so your vibration is different now. And law of attraction then naturally puts you in a different place than the others. And so law of attraction provides the harmony. Esther misunderstood. Esther thought that she was supposed to find harmony with every discordant thing in the universe. And that's why you're hard on yourself, by the way. Esther thought that it was her job to find harmony with things that she couldn't find harmony with. And when she couldn't find harmony with them, she thought she was failing. She didn't realize that by ignoring the things that she can't find harmony with, and by choosing the things that feel better to her, and by practicing that vibration, that the universe would provide the harmony within the contrast. Because law of attraction is not going to make you all the same. That would stop the evolution of all things. So if you think that harmony is getting everyone to think and be and want just like you do, then all of your evolution would stop. There could be no more, you see. But when you just pick what matters to you, and you practice the thought of that until that's what you're emitting, then law of attraction won't put you together with discordant things. Now you're off in the sunlight where you belong. Don't you like knowing that? And don't you like knowing that you don't have to convince others to think like you do or believe like you do? That's why we've been saying to Esther, understand, but don't try to get them to. Just understand. Understand how the laws of the universe work, and understand what it feels like to feel good, and understand the response of the universe to your feeling good, and understand the perfection of difference. Push against nothing and watch what happens.
And I think where I'm getting snagged up is that I attach judgments to the contrast.
Yeah.
Or I feel bad because I created this contrasting experience and it hurts somebody else. And so then I get stuck in that thing that's already gone, where I learned and I grew and I expanded because I had new desires from it. But then I still feel bad because well, if I created it, I created this contrast.
Well, you feel bad because you're looking at it in a different way than your inner being does. You're standing in the doorway and looking back rather than looking forward the way your inner being does. You are snagged up in it because you're taking responsibility for what others feel, first of all, and you cannot do that. Say to yourself these accurate things. I'm always doing the best that I know how to do as I'm going along. I am well-intentioned because you are. But this conversation about harmony, it's going to serve you so well, because how can there be harmony in contrast? Because law of attraction does the organizing. It's a normal thing, not natural, but humans have made it normal to try to be the path of least resistance for others. But you cannot be it. And when you try, they resent you for it. You fail miserably at it. And you hold yourself apart from your inner being, which is the only reason you ever feel negative emotion to begin with. Helpful?
So how do I create that path of least resistance for myself?
Well, the path of least resistance, first of all, let us tell you as it is, you've created a path of resistance. Because you've just lived life and you've just thrown stuff on your trail. So you've created a path of resistance. But, dear hearts, it was necessary in order for you to create your vortex. So give yourself a break. Yeah, you threw some resistance on the trail on your way to knowing what you want, but so what? Because you have guidance guiding you through and over and around and under the path of least resistance. In other words, your inner being knows where you are, knows what you want, and knows all the obstacles in your way and calls you around it. Your inner being doesn't judge it and say, if you hadn't done that, that big wad of resistance wouldn't be there, and we wouldn't be having so much trouble getting you around it. Your inner being never says that. Your inner being never even focuses on the resistance. Your inner being just keeps calling you around the resistance that is on your path. That's why we call it the path of least resistance. We don't call it the path of no resistance. We don't call it the path of impossibility, no resistance. We call it the path of least resistance. There's resistance there, that's a given. And your inner being judges the resistance that's there, not one bit, not at all. You hear that? That should have made you go, Yahoo!
Yahoo!
It's too late. But you get the sense of what we're talking about. The resistance is a natural thing, so stop beating up on yourself about it and listen to your guidance who will guide you around it. Instead of relitigating things and making yourself feel bad about things. In many cases, you've moved on and you're out in the clear. Why do you move back into the muck? Law of attraction says, this person was not good for you and you were not good for that person. So you've parted ways now that you've stopped focusing upon what you were focusing upon. And you say, but wait, shouldn't I suffer longer?
Yeah. And I don't need to.
Your inner being isn't. And when you do, it's evidence that you're doing something that your inner being is not doing. Feeling sorry for another person, your inner being never does that. Your inner being focuses upon their strengths. Feeling mad at yourself about some past behavior that you have no power in your now about, your inner being never does that. Your inner being focuses upon your alignment here and now, where all of your power is. Wishing you hadn't done something where you have no power, your inner being never does that. Because your inner being knows the value of what you lived and what it put into the vortex and what that now means going forward, you see. Really good words. Going forward, going forward, going forward, going forward, always going forward, always becoming more. This combination of beings has never been before into all of the universe. Do you realize how much we have taken thought beyond that which it has been before in the very short period of time that you and your brilliance and your willingness and your steadiness and your connection to source energy has provided? This has been the most productive moment in time that you've experienced in a very long time. But there's more still coming. It's all good, even the bad.
Thank you.
There is no limit to the pleasurable mornings that are set out ahead for you, is there? We want to recap for you the things that we have personally enjoyed most about this interaction. We've appreciated the diversity that you are, that you brought into this forum. the balance, the perfection of balance. We liked a lot as we began talking to you in those early minutes, your willingness to focus and the easy harmony that we found as the vibration that we were offering resonated so easily with the vibration that is you. That is a credit to your practiced alignment. It's unusual. We want you to know you're part of something that is unusual in this forum. Higher vibration coming in, more resonance moving along, and more movement in your vibration than usual. What that says in practical terms is that you are closer to the brink of alignment on a regular basis than you know, which makes us want to put you in that category that you would like to be put in, although we never put anybody in any categories. But we want to call you those masters of energy, because your awareness of the way you feel and your desire and ability to move your energy so quickly makes us want to put you in that category of masters of vibration. So what that means is, now you can move on to step 5. Step 1 is ask. Life just does that to you. You don't even have to be good at it. Step 2 is source answers. You don't have to be good at that either. Source is. Step 3 is where your work really begins. And you've been doing a good job of that. You've come to understand law of attraction. You've come to understand your emotional guidance system. And most of all, you all have made the decision that you want to feel good. And you've been guiding yourself toward that with that reason more than any segment of the population that we've ever spent any time with. So step 3, moving along really well, which is why we gave you the label of step 4, because you're doing such a good job of steadily staying there. And now it's time for, in our opinion, the best step of all, which is step 5, which is where you are no longer beating up on yourself for being back in step 1. Step 5 says that you understand contrast. And the conversation that we had just now about contrast was our favorite conversation that we've ever had about anything. Because unless you are willing to embrace the perfection of this time-space reality into which you have deliberately focused, and unless you're willing to accept the perfection of the variety and the balance around you, then you cannot possibly receive the benefit of that decision that you made long before you came into this physical body. And it matters a lot. Step 5 means that you're able to look into the world of contrast and understand it for the perfection that it is. It means that you no longer need to demand circumstances and conditions to be a certain way in order for you to feel good. It means that you have found your balance with alignment, and that you are chronically looking through the eyes of Source. And in that compassionate connection to Source energy, you're able to accept the differences in those around you. Not just in an accepting or tolerating sense, but in a knowledgeable embracing of the value of its sense. Which means now you have the opportunity to receive value everywhere you go. You never need to be guarded again. You never need to feel protection of yourself again. You never need to hold yourself off in country clubs or behind gated communities. You don't have to hide or be afraid of anything. Because now you are in this place of understanding the laws of the universe. And now you are in the place of actively utilizing your own guidance system in the way that you've intended. Now you can go anywhere and have the positive, powerful, uplifting experience for yourself and those who you are inspiring around you in the way that you've intended when you made the decision to be here. We are so pleased with who you are and what you are about and where you are in relationship to the things that you have identified that you want. And we are looking forward to every cognizant awareness that you have about your worthiness and about your perfect placement in this time-space reality. We are eager about what's coming next for you, and next and next and next and next. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain stubbornly in your vortex.